Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Is hidden identity. I am a Zimbabwean woman, and currently I am here in Europe. Please do not share my details with anyone. So me being here in Europe, it was because of the charms that I used on this other white man that I met when I was still working in South Africa. So I went to South Africa, me and my husband. We left our country, Zimbabwe, and then we migrated to South Africa. So life was very difficult in South Africa. Since me and my husband, we did not have any papers at all. We could not choose the type of a job that we wanted. That was when God's grace located me, and I started working at this other restaurant. So at that restaurant where I was working, it was a tourist spot where most of the people that would have gone to South Africa, it was a tourist attraction at the place where I was working there. And what happened was that the girls and the women that I was working with, like, even though they were married, but they were sleeping around, it did not matter if they were South Africans or if they were from Zim. All of them, they were doing the same thing. So most of these tourists that would have came to South Africa, all that they wanted to do was to sleep with black women. So there was this other man that was our manager at that restaurant. The guy, he was from Greece. He was a Greek man, and that guy, he used to communicate with some of the clients, and if there was one amongst the clients that wanted to sleep with a woman, then you will be given that client. We even had this other sponge mattress in his office where you will just go secretly in his office and sleep with one of the clients, and if the tourist would have given you money, then you will give money to that manager, like a tip to him. So we were making a lot of money. You won't even believe it. With the money that I was making as my salary, including the one that I used to make whilst sleeping with those tourists, it will be about 40k each and every month. And we did this without our husbands ever knowing what was really going on. So when I started working at that restaurant, I had no idea that the women that were working there, married or not, South African or not, they were all involved in this little business of prostituting themselves to the tourists that would come to eat at that restaurant. It was only after I had spoken with this other woman who was from Zim. Like, this woman, the way that she was living her life, it was as if she was not even a waitress at all. Like, she was living a very good, comfortable life, and she had even bought her husband a car. So I wanted to know, how was it even possible that a woman who works as a waitress can buy a car for her husband for cash? One day when we were busy talking, that was when she was open with me, and she said, you see, all of these clients, most of these men, they are just looking for black women to sleep with. That is why some of them, they even come to South Africa in the first place. They just want to enjoy life. Most of these white European men, they just want to sleep with a black woman. So if you are clever, you can also make money. So Brother Nashi, at first, I did not want to do that. I just wanted to live my life, be faithful to my husband. But with the way that this woman was making money, and with the situation that I was facing back at home, always being broke, trying to take care of the whole family as a breadwinner, this was what forced me into prostitution. So you would speak with one of the clients, the tourist, when you are busy serving or taking an order, if you make eye contact, then both of you will know what you want to do with each other. And then you will go and speak with your manager and tell your manager that you've gotten a customer. Then the guy will pretend as if he's going to the bathroom, and you will follow you to the manager's office. You take the sponge mattress and then you sleep together, and he gives you money and you leave the money for the manager. So I used to make a lot of money. At the end of the month, I'll be having like 40K, and my own husband did not even know or suspect that this was what was happening at my workplace. I then spoke with this other South African girl that I was working with. She was also doing the same thing. She went with me to Absa and she opened up an account for me, which I was using. I did not want my husband to know that I was getting this extra money. So I had this Absa app on my phone, and whenever you try to open it, I will say, I tried to go there to open an account, but they said without a work permit I cannot open an Absa account. But my husband did not even know that sometimes in that account I'll be having 60K in that account. So I used to send this money to my mom in secret without anyone knowing where this money was coming from, and I told my mom to keep quiet. So me and my husband, we bought a residential stand in Harare, and I also bought one for my mom. Then that was when I started to date this other white guy. He was a married guy, the one that I got married to. Currently, I'm staying with him here in Europe. When I met him, he had a wife. So he promised me that he was going to take me to Europe. And when he said that he was going to take me to Europe, I got interested in migrating from South Africa and coming to Europe, because anyway, in South Africa, I did not have proper documentation. So my future was like dark in South Africa. I wanted to be somewhere where I knew that my future was secure. So this guy then gave me hope, and after he had given me hope, he stopped like telling me about what he wanted us to do in the future. I did not understand whether he was just treating me as a prostitute or if he was treating me as a woman that he wanted to marry later on in life. So I then returned back to Zim, and I then spoke with my mom. One thing about my mom was that she was someone that can even beat you up for no reason at all. There was a time when I had fought with my husband after I had given birth to my second child. So my mom came and she beat me to bed, saying that I was not behaving myself. So on that day when I spoke with my mom, I was even scared to let her know that in South Africa I was busy prostituting myself. And as we were busy having a discussion, I then told my mom that there was something that I wanted to tell her. As I was speaking with her, I got up from the couch where we were seated, and I went and I stood by the door so that if she tries to fight with me, then I will run away. So my mom was busy eating her ground nuts that she had cooked, and she was eating straight from this other black Kango pot. So when I told her that, you know, Mom, there in South Africa, there are men that I am sleeping with. Those men, they are the ones that give me all the money that I have been sending to you. In the blink of an eye, my mom picked up that pot that was full of her ground nuts that she was busy eating, and she threw it at me. I had to close the door, otherwise the pot was going to hit me, and I ran away. My mom is not a lazy woman. She will follow you, chase after you so that she can beat you. She followed me outside and she wanted to beat me. Then I said, well, if you are going to beat me, but you have to sell that residential stand that I bought for you, then I can return back the money to those men that I slept with in South Africa. That was when she started shouting at me, insulting me that I was a dirty prostitute, and she returned back indoors, and I knew that she was not going to fight with me. So I followed him as he was busy picking up her groundnuts that were all over the floor. And I spoke with her in a nice way, and I told her that there was a man that was willing to take me to Europe, and this was going to change the entire generation. Even though she was still insulting me of being a prostitute, I reminded her that her sons, my brothers, they were busy suffering, they were not working, and I wanted to assist the whole family. That was when she just kept quiet, and then that was when I returned back to South Africa. I told her that she was supposed to look for someone that was going to assist me so that this man that I was dating can divorce his wife and bring me to Europe. And when I was in South Africa with my husband, that was when she called me and she said that she had met someone who was willing to assist me, and I was supposed to return back to Zim like immediately. I then returned back to Zim. My husband, I did not even ask a lot of money from him because I already had too much money in my account. Me and my mom, we then went to Chipinge, where we met this other traditional healer. Whilst we were there, that was when the healer told me that I was supposed to give him $10, which I gave him the $10. He told me to go out and to take a chicken and bring it inside, and I did as he had instructed me to do. And then he told me to look for firewood. I went and I gathered some firewood, and he said make it into a heap, and then he gave me a gold cloth as well as a red cloth, and he said tie down the chicken and put it on top of the firewood, and then I want you to burn that chicken alive. And I did as I had been instructed. After that, that was when he took another chicken he slaughtered, and he told me to wash my face, my breast, including my private parts, and we were supposed to travel to Harare without me washing my face. I had to travel from Chipinge returning back to Harare, and I did not want people to see that this was what had happened to me. But people noticed that there was blood all over my face, for this was the ritual that I was supposed to perform. When I returned back to Harare, I then bathed myself, and I then left Zim for South Africa, and I was told not to sleep with my husband until I had slept again with that white man. I waited for that man. Me and my husband, we used to fight all the times whenever he would want to sleep with me, and I would refuse. When he returned back to South Africa, that white man, then I slept with him, and when he arrived back in Europe, he started telling me that he missed me a lot and he wanted to be with me, and I told him to divorce his wife, and he did as I had instructed him to do, and then he brought me to Europe. The challenge that I am facing is that I got married to this man who has changed my life. I brought all of my brothers and their wives. We are all here in Europe. We started our little mini tribe here in Europe. The problem is that I have to keep on renewing these charms. I have to go out at night, and it is cold here, naked, and then I have to bath. I have this other local butchery where I go and buy blood. They know that this woman, whenever she comes here, she buys blood. I buy this blood in secret without my husband knowing that this is what I do, and then I put the blood in a bucket of water. Then I have to wash myself. I am tired of performing these rituals where I will feel like I am freezing to death. I just need advice. If I stop doing these rituals, because I do not need to renew this love covenant anymore. All of my relatives that I brought here, they are now working. I am a citizen of this country. I am not going to suffer even if this white man break up with me. What will happen if I stop doing these rituals? Please advise me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister, and that was the translation of the message that was sent to me. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.